That's really weird. That is really weird. Anyhow, I had technical difficulties. I don't know if that video recorded, so we're gonna have to do it again. I have no idea what I said in the last video. I know I was talking about God, but I could do this at any moment, any time. It's like a constant. If you pull me out of any moment from now until eternity, and all moments before that, you can just ask me, so what do I think about God? It behooves all of us, each of us, to have a relationship and an understanding with God. Can we do that on our own? For the most part, yes. Religion comes along because it gets traditional and it kind of guides people along the sheeple, if they need that. It's a good community club, though, because we are social animals. I don't necessarily knock it. I mean, for when they get into hypocrisy and lies or whatever it might be. I think I hear the other video. It is. Oh, it is working. Anyhow, God put me here. What am I? I'm a collection of ideas that somehow assembled themselves together randomly. Maybe God is a randomness principle. There's so many different individuals out there, and the individuals all have a different perspective to each other, but there is a structure to it. There's an order, and I position myself in such an area that is the center. I take absolute center, ground zero, from where it all begins and where it all ends. The beginning and the end, the alpha and the omega. That's where I sit. That's where I get my consciousness, and everything that you see me doing, it emanates from that. It needs a quantum leap to have any event to have cause and effect. Only have to hear something or feel it, and then it creates God consciousness. Everything that I do leads you to that. That's why some of you really get me, because you're seeking. You want that. You want that God. That godliness. Now, let's go back to the idea of God being a description or a label onto a collection of ideas that I am. I believe in eternity. So that means even though you hear me and I'm making thoughts of a linear consciousness train of thought, it doesn't make any difference. That's just the limitations of the language and the body, and as moment goes to moment onwards, that stream of consciousness, I have to get it out, and then I end my thought. But it can start right up again. The same thought about God. God is eternal. In other words, whatever I say about it, and if I make a complete statement, that statement goes on forever. It can never change. So what I say about myself, whoever I am, you know, some of you who watched me, right? I mean, so you get me. You recognize that. There's no denying when you see it. You know that's that guy. But do you realize that I exist forever? So get used to it. I was here before, and that's why you feel familiar when you get me. I was there in your consciousness before you saw it on YouTube. But you knew you were going to get it from YouTube. That's you. You. That's what we're looking for. That's why we're on here. This is our church of consciousness. It's collective. We're doing this to socialize. It's social networking. People have given up religion in the traditional old form to come to it now. When I talked about Utopia, and it had a leader, it had that's like a priest, that's a hierarchy, that's a central consciousness, which needs to be representation. Just like God is a representation of all of life. Doesn't mean that we don't need the paramecium. Doesn't mean we don't need the amoeba. Doesn't mean that we don't need the swine flu virus or whatever other type of small, inconsequential life form, or even if it's not a life form. What if it's a mold spore? What if it's something that came out of the crater of an asteroid? Or out of one of the pores in your lower back? Some kind of a bacteria in there. We need all of that in some small way. This is all what's surrounding God. God manifests in so many ways. God is what connects everything. Not according to what Carl Sagan says, and Richard Feynman, and Bill Nye, and all these guys, these half-wits. If they can't talk about God like what I'm talking about here, to you folks, to an open audience, off the top of my head, no special effects, no script, no advertising. Well, maybe a little bit of Google AdSense. That's Satan. That's the deal I made with the devil to get to speak to you tonight. But aside from all that, why can't these guys come out and explain it? They don't know anything about it because they're afraid. They can't work at that high of a level. But all of you who want to worship those people blindly, if that's your cult figure, because you are in a cult of scientific ignorance, which I've said a million times before in all my other videos, and you don't like that, because that's the truth. And if you can't listen to it, it just shows how far gone you are, because I'm here to try to wake you up. But I'm not going to try real hard, you see, because I don't need you to get it. I already get it, and that's what's important. For everybody else to get it who listens to me because they recognize it and they're seeking the truth, it was already in them. I remind you of what was already there that God put there. I didn't give it to you. I just journey along with you. I walk with all of you side by side. We're just moving along into the higher consciousness. That's heaven. God gave us heaven. Now, do I need a priest to give that to me? Do I need the government? Do I need lawyers to tell me what the law is? No. That's a game. That's a charade. Do I need it from TV, movies, celebrities, a pill, a drug, a video game? Do I need it from there? No, I don't. Actually, you see, you can't sell me anything. All of you out there, you can't sell me your authority. You can't sell me something that's going to keep me in line and bring me to salvation, because I already have it. That's mystery. Because you can't figure that out. How would it happen? You? Look at you. Of all people. You don't have enough views to be that lucky, to be that popular. I'm God's #1 hero. And I'm the #1 fan of God. So go figure. That's what I need for myself, because I got a big ego. I think